Today I'm going to show you how to seam two pieces of crochet work together using the mattress stitch. I have two panels here of granny squares, and I'm making a blanket, which you can find linked below if you're interested. So what we're going to do is we're going to take and start in the corner here. So these are my horizontal seams, and later I will work my vertical ones. But I have 5 stitches in the corner here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I want to find my center stitch, which is this one. And we're going to start in the corner here. And we're going to work down, front to back through that first back loop of that stitch. And then we're going to go into the next one, back to front. And then pull the yarn through. And then we're going to come over here to the next side and we're going to do the exact same thing. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is my middle stitch. Front to back through the back loop. Back to front through the next back loop. And pull through. And we're just going to do that all the way across. Starting with the loop we just came out of on the other side. So we're going to go front to back into that same back loop, back to front through the next, and then front to back through this loop, back to front through the next, front to back, back to front, front to back, and back to front. And you're just going to do that all the way down your seam here, and stopping intermittently to tighten up your seam and zip that up. So I'm just going to do a couple more here, and then I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, so now what you want to do is you just want to pull on these ends, and it will just zip this seam right up. And it will look virtually seamless. Really clean. And on the back side it also looks really clean. So I'm just going to continue doing that all the way down to the end. And I'll meet you back here. Okay, I've just made it to my corner, and these are the 2 new squares I need to add in as I continue my seams. So right here is my corner stitch, and I'm going to complete this last pair of stitches here in the corner. And this last one, so here's my corner stitch here, and that is my last pair there on this side. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to act as if I'm just continuing right on. And so we're going to start once again with our corner stitch, front to back, back to front on this side because we ended on this side. And then once again, you're going to come over here to the corner stitch, right here, front to back, back to front, and pull it through. And then we're going to continue on as if that nothing even interrupted. So continue. Oops. And just continue working through your stitches that way. And you just want to make sure that you keep this seam fairly tight as you work. You want to make sure and pull on this so this seam becomes tight. I'll show you what we do next. I'll work this vertical seam here, and I'll show you what happens when we meet up with the corner again doing the vertical seam. Okay, I've just finished the last 2 pairs of stitches over here on these 2 squares, and I've zoomed in really close for you so you can see what's going on here. So now we're going to zip up these corners here and make them a little bit cleaner. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go into the first 2 pairs here. So that first one on these next squares, and the first one on that square. And here's what we're going to do to zip up those corners. You can see there's kind of a gap going on here, and we're going to fix that. So go ahead and we're going to go count 2 stitches from the corner here in this corner stitch. We're going to go 1, 2, and then we're going to go under the top loop, front loop of that one, and the front loop of the corner stitch here into the next one, front loop. And we're going to do that all the way around. So in this next one, count 2 stitches, 1, 2, and we're going to go into the top loop of that stitch and the top loop of the next stitch, which is the next loop is right next to it. So we'll go into there, and we'll do the same thing with the last 2 square corners. Stitch 1, stitch 2, go into the top loop of that stitch and the top loop of the next stitch. In our last square here, 1, 2, go into the top loop, top loop of that stitch and the top loop of the next stitch. And then you're going to pull on this tail and you're going to bring all these corners together, just like that. And then we're going to continue on. So we ended down here, so now, or whoops, no, we ended up here. So now we're going to continue moving just like we normally would, front to back, back to front. And then on the top, front to back, back to front in those back loops. Oops. You're going to continue working as normal all the way across, but that's how you kind of zip up these corners and make them a little or a lot cleaner.